start with a bit of an introduction to the topic, Martin. Maybe you can tell us what you've been finding so far in your research. And one particular question, of course, is how critical is this topic of skill gaps in the service business?
Yeah, and that's a good question, Hilbrand, because the topic itself is not new, but the criticality issue is new. So I think there's been, over the years, there's always been skill shortages that companies have had to deal with. But through a number of different events coming together, it's now become a really critical issue. And there's lots of evidence to support that. A recent survey in the UK, for example, with over 500 technology service leaders, 84% of them said that skill shortage was a particular challenge for their business for technical skills and for IT skills. The European Commission published recently and said that 2 million engineering professionals are needed to fill current vacancies. And particularly, the STEM graduates, service, technology, engineering, and maths, even though STEM graduates have been slightly increasing, it in no way meets demand, and hence that 2 million delta there. And from our own survey with the customers and the companies that we went to, their response to the shortages was, yes, there's a great shortage, or there's a very great shortage of particular roles in their organization, specifically on service and support.
Yeah, so you say already like STEM graduates, but what are the skills here that are most critical for service and support?
Certainly in our business, it's technicians, field technicians. They're the ones that have the top spot. So really finding sufficient technicians, field service engineers to really maintain the existing base, and particularly to position the company for future growth. That's the biggest challenge. But it's not only technicians, other roles in the services business, service managers, support center agents, even service sales, they're also proving to be something of a problem.
And you were saying already that it's not a new topic, of course. Everybody in service is aware of the topic, but how is it affecting the service industry? What are the consequences of these skill gaps?
Yeah, and it's having quite a big effect, and hence the reason it's much more of a burning platform issue now, I think. So there are many different ways in which this impacts the company, in the customer area, in the commercial area. The actual details of that, we'll go into that much more during the service business forum. But yeah, it's become much bigger issue and is impacting multiple aspects of the business, and hence the need for companies to come back with a real, different solution to what has been done in the past.
Right, and can you say then something about what the different service organizations that you've been talking to, that you've been researching, what have been the strategies that these service organizations have been following successfully in dealing with the skill gaps?
From what the research showed, that it falls really into two main pillars of activity. I would have to say companies are being pretty innovative dealing in both these pillars. I'll explain in a moment, because it's really such an issue that this is getting attention at the top of the organization now, right? So they're coming up with new ways of dealing with problems that maybe have been there in the past. Some of them are related to new technology, so really they've got some great ideas there as well. And all of these actions really fall into, I would say, two broad pillars. One is all about the people side of the business, and the other is around technology, and specifically AI technology and how that can help. But if we look at the people side first, lots of initiatives around employee engagement, around development of talent, about recruiting strategies, some really quite new ways of, creating your own sort of academy of engineers, if you like. And the whole people side of this has taken a much more strategic approach. So it's being dealt with, as I said, at the top of the organization and very interlinked with the second broad, pillar, which is really the technology and AI. So this is saying, okay, there's a lot of new capability, particularly with AI, to be able to bring this to the organization to maximize the use of the skills that we do have. So that's one of the ways that they're looking at it. So we've got these key skills in the organization. We're struggling to get more. How do we maximize the effectiveness of the skills that we do have? And AI has absolutely got a part to play there, particularly in minimizing some of the low value activities. So you're looking to make your existing staff more effective. You can use AI both in recruitment, in learning and development, in speeding up some of those processes. But of course, as you know, AI is very much about AI development. It's about a journey. This isn't about just using certain AI tools. This is about saying, how could we redesign our way of working to really take the benefits of AI such that it's making a big difference to our delivery capability, and it's eliminating some of those skill shortages.
Okay, so the case studies that will be presented during the forum and the different topics that will basically cover those two categories of solutions then.
They absolutely will. We've got two great presenters, I think, presenting some very relevant case studies that are linked to those two pillars that I've just been talking about. First of all, we've got Anne Sorensen. Anne Sorensen was formerly the Global Competence Development Manager for AlfaLaval. And again, some really innovative ways that Anne has been putting in place to ensure they dealt with the skills shortages in their company. So she's going to present on 6 strategies for managing the skills shortage. So that should be a very good presentation on that side of it. The second presenter is Marie-France Crevecoeur. She's from Schneider Electric. Marie-France is actually the VP of Recurring Service Operating Model, and with a particular focus on the future operating model for service operations. So that's really on the technology and the AI side, and saying, how do we maximize the use of AI in our organization, but very much looking at the future operating model. And much of the research has said there's sort of 2 distinct areas of using AI. One is using it really as tools to support the existing people and processes. But a much more advanced way would be redesigning your way of working that takes the key skills from AI agents and from human agents and humans, and really developing that into a new way of working. And that's really expected to accelerate the performance and the efficiency of the organization. So I think some, 2 great presentations that are going to initiate a lot of discussion and debate, and will be, very good topics to start the forum.
Yeah, I obviously have been in many forums so far, and I think a lot of the content is actually also being provided by the participants, all usually experienced service leaders that will share experiences and even their challenges and solutions. So I look forward to that. This forum is going to be hosted by the company Bruker Nano. I think they're going to give us a bit of a peek behind the scenes, right? How they are dealing with this issue.
Yes, Ben Carter is kindly hosting this on behalf of Bruker Nano. Venkato is the global head of field services for Bruker Nano. And so he's on the second day, he's going to provide a demonstration on the high-tech equipment that Bruker Nano provides, spectrometers and really high-spec equipment. And he'll give a perspective on this topic of skill shortages related to his business, particularly with some insight from different geographies around the world, because the skill shortage, shows itself in different ways in the geographies around the world. And so Venkat will be able to tell us that.
Okay, yeah, and I've been told just before this session that we're gonna also have like a bit of an exercise around AI and a practical demonstration of how this would actually or can be used for this topic, like addressing skill shortages, with a bit of an exercise on how service leaders can imagine the future of their service business using AI, as well as a short, like more technical presentation on what is this technology, how does it work, and how do you build these capabilities. So, Martin, people that will come to the forum, will they get an answer to this question of how to address the skill gaps in a practical way? Can they, when they go back, can they really get started with something?
Yeah, I absolutely think so. Both presenters have been pretty generous with their information and the journey that they've been on, and I think you'll see there's some good tips, suggestions on how to get started on some of these things, particularly in the world of AI development, because as you know, this is one of the most frequent questions that we get asked. Is like, okay, I understand all of the capabilities that AI can bring, but how do I apply it? How do I get started with this in my business? But I think, you'll find from both from the presenters who are sharing some of their experience in doing this, and also from the discussions that will emanate from those presentations, there'll be some good opportunities to, take home some key learnings, I think.
All right, good. Well, thanks a lot, Martin, for this sneak preview and what to expect in the Service Business Forum in Coventry. I will share still on the screen again the website where everybody that is interested can go to. You can participate still in the research. You will find that on the homepage in this button. There will be a couple of questions to answer, and to reward you for your efforts, you will get a copy of the full research report afterwards if you complete the full survey. You can join us either in person or online. Just clicking this button. The online version is only going to be the first hour of the research presentation done by Martin. It's going to be a live presentation. Unfortunately, and for technical reasons, we cannot show all the live discussions. For that, you really have to be at the forum and be in the company of other service leaders that will share their experience and hopefully some of their solutions as well. If you're interested, you can have a look into previous research projects that we've done and forum sessions that we have had if you click on that button. So for everybody watching, thank you very much. And I hope to see you in Coventry on the 11th and 12th of September. And again, thank you, Martin. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thanks. Bye-bye.